Hi, fourth grade. I am so excited to start on this journey with you through distance learning. I have missed you so much this past week, and I'm really happy that we're going to be doing this together. So, you may be feeling excited, you may be feeling unsure, and guess what? We are feeling the same things that you are feeling. We're not exactly sure how things are going to work out, but we're going to figure this out together, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun doing it too. So throughout the week, you're going to get video lessons from me along with the rest of your other fourth grade teachers. And our unit that we're going to be working on is called Writing About History. And we're going to be making informational books about genres that we have already learned. So we're not really going to be learning anything brand new. We're going to be using the schema that we already have in our brains from earlier this year. And we're going to be writing about the subtopic that we researched in Mrs. Koppelman's history class. So pretty cool. I'm really excited, like I said, to get started, and I really hope that you enjoy learning at home in a brand new way. Hey guys, the first thing that we need to do as we start a brand new unit is to create a notebook in Notability. So I would like you to go ahead and click on the plus sign, and you are going to add a notebook titled Writing About History. This will be the first thing that you will need to do before you go into schoolwork and export the notes I have in there for you for session 1 into your new notebook, Writing About History. Now, as we talked about many times before, it is very important to have all of your notes in one place so that when you go back and look at your resources, you will be able to save time knowing exactly where you can find them. So again, you're making a new notebook titled Writing About History. Once you go into schoolwork and export your notes on session 1, you can go ahead and open, and your note should look like this. It will say session 1, Getting the Sense of Informational Books. Now, our goal today is not necessarily going to be writing, but we are going to be analyzing text that has already been written. Now, one of the things that we have done so much this year is we've gone back and looked at mentor text. Those Shoes was a mentor text. We had many mentor texts for our biography unit. We had different mentor texts for our informational unit. We've had so many so far this year. And what's going to be interesting about this unit is we are going to use a mentor text that was written by a fourth grader, just like you. And so today we're going to look at that mentor text, and we're really going to be asking 3 questions. The first question is, what do you notice about this part? What kind of writing is this? And when the question says what kind of writing this is talking about the genre. What genre is it? Is it informational? Is it persuasive or an opinion? Or is it narrative? Is it telling a story? That's what the question means, what kind of writing it is. The next thing that we're going to look at is, how is this part organized? Now, the word organized. I want you to think back to the checklists that we've used this year. And all of them have a section that says organization. This is talking about how the author has decided to organize their writing into paragraphs. So you're going to be asking yourself, what do you think the author's reason was behind their organization and organizing their writing into paragraphs? The third question that we're going to be looking at is, what would you need to be ready to write something like this on your topic? Now, your topic is going to be the topic that you researched in Mrs. Koppelman's class on the Texas Revolution. This is the subtopic that you did all of your research on. This is the subtopic that you created your presentation on, that you spent all of that time in her class reading and researching on. So if that was your topic, what would you need to be ready to write this particular part of writing? We're going to dive into this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and scroll down, and we're going to look at this first part of our mentor text. Chapter 1 is titled All About the American Revolution. Now, this writing by Naomi is the author, this fourth grader. This first chapter is all about the American Revolution. Now, she learned and researched in her class all about the American Revolution. So her subject is going to look a little bit different than your subtopic, which is the Texas Revolution. So don't worry too much about the subject matter, really just about the organization. When you scroll down, this is going to match up with Chapter 1, all about the American Revolution. Notice the title is the same. The directions say to read through the rest of Naomi's work and jot down your thoughts on the yellow sticky notes below. And this is where your questions come in. What kind of writing is this? Is this narrative? Is this informative? Or is this persuasive? So this is where you're going to analyze this first part, this chapter 1 of our mentor text. Also looking through her writing, how do you think this section or this chapter is organized? What do you notice? And then if you were to write something similar about your subtopic, the Texas Revolution, what would you need to be ready in order to write this? So that may mean you need to go back and look at your notes. Maybe you need to look at your timeline. What do you think you would need to review to write a chapter just like this mentor text? Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down to Chapter 2. Chapter 2, all about the battles of Lexington and Concord. This is Naomi's subtopic of the American Revolution. Just like you have a subtopic of the Texas Revolution, this is her subtopic. Okay? Notice there are multiple paragraphs, and you notice that there are also titles for each of her paragraphs. So she has some subtitles in there too. All right, so this is going to correspond with this part of the mentor text. Again, it's going to ask you what kind of writing it is it? How is this part organized? And what would you need to do to be ready to write a chapter all about your subtopic? Okay, moving on down to Chapter 3. Chapter 3, A Day in the Life of a Minuteman. Story. Looking at our 3 questions that go along with this chapter of our mentor text. What kind of writing is it? How is it organized? What would you need to be ready to write something like this in your writing, in your project? And finally, chapter 4. Why the battles of Concord and Lexington were important. Looking at our questions that go with chapter 4. What kind of writing is this particular part of our mentor text? How is it organized? And what would you need to do to be ready to write something like this? So today, all we're doing is looking at a project. We're looking at a project that someone else has written, and we're analyzing it to see what do we need to do to prepare to write something similarly. This will be the project that we will be working on for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And again, this is the first session for writing about history.